The Republican candidate for Augusta County Sheriff, Neil Kester, held a press conference today in Verona, Virginia, to address the ongoing controversy surrounding current Augusta County Sheriff Donald Smith. Kester said he has been silent about Sheriff Smith's continued support and friendship with suspected child sex predator and convicted witness tamperer Felix Chujoy because he wanted to look up the documents that Breaking Through first exposed last month on his own.
In absolutely fairness and the need to speak the truth and dispel the rumors, I felt I needed to confirm the validity of the claims before speaking out one way or the other. On September 18th, I personally went to the federal courthouse in Harrisonburg to obtain certified copies of the transcripts and the recordings that had been circulating on social media pertaining to Donald Smith and Felix Chujoy. I have spent significant time reviewing the court records personally. In my inquiry, I have found that the jail calls and federal transcripts are indeed authentic and credible. In order to be transparent and fair, I have a binder here with certified copies of those documents available for the media or anyone else that would like to review the documents.
The 3-ring binders included a table of contents as well as the documents and a disc with the May 29, 2015 phone call between Chujoy and Smith, which we have already published for the public here at Breaking Through News. Kester said the first step to take is to admit and identify that we have a problem.
The way to fix a problem is to first identify that you have one. Following many conversations with citizens of Augusta County and the recent flood of media information surrounding our sheriff and his previous interactions with the Department of Justice and the defendant within that case, it certainly appears we have a problem.
Kester went on to say Smith's unethical actions have been proven by the federal documents.
The ultimate question for the citizens of Augusta County is, shouldn't we be worried less about who uncovered these facts about Donald Smith and be more worried about Donald Smith's unethical behavior while entrusted by the public to uphold the law? Despite a sheriff's race or whom you plan to vote for, there have been very serious accusations towards Smith that have been proven by court documents. These new revelations, again proven through court records available for anyone to see, as well as included in this binder, confirm Donald Smith, current sheriff of Augusta County, continues to befriend a man who was fairly charged with human trafficking, who is also now an alleged child predator. In fact, Mr. Chujoy himself confirmed recently that Donald Smith allowed him to use his personal vehicle just a few short weeks ago. Clearly, the two remain close friends, and my ultimate concern, and I feel the concern of every citizen of Augusta County, is where does Donald Smith's loyalty lie? He has proven throughout trafficking case with Chujoy that his loyalty lies with a man who was charged with human trafficking and solicitation of a 14-year-old boy, rather than disconnecting him and disobeying Chujoy's unacceptable and immoral behavior. This is simply not acceptable to me, and should not be acceptable to any citizen of Augusta County.
Kester made it clear that he wants to get past the Smith controversy.
This morning I intend to officially address this matter, and at the conclusion of this address, I intend to continue my campaign to be your next sheriff. I would prefer to spend the balance of this campaign focusing on ways I will improve Augusta County Sheriff's Office, bringing back the transparency and integrity of the agency, and partnering with our sister agencies to keep our community safe.
But during the Q&A with the media during the press conference, I told Mr. Kester I have more documents and recordings connected to Chujoy and Smith. Take a listen.
Mr. Kester, I know you said that you want to move on, but more and more stuff has come to light. I have more stuff that I'm going to be exposing with the sheriff. And I've reviewed all the cases in Stanton City in the last 10 years where a defendant was charged with computer solicitation of a minor for sex.
I have more shocking revelations and detailed court documents pertaining to Augusta County Sheriff Donald Smith's good friend Felix Chujoy's 2012 child sex solicitation case, including Chujoy's interview with police after his arrest. I have also compiled a list of 40 child sex solicitation cases tried in Stanton City Court since 2010 to the present. 39 of those cases ended in convictions. Only one case did not end in a conviction, and that case is Felix Chujoy's, despite the fact that the evidence against Chujoy was much stronger than the evidence against many of the other defendants. Listen to this recording of Felix Chujoy being interviewed by Corporal Jeremy Campbell of the Stanton Police Department. In the interview, Chujoy admits that he was meeting what he thought was a 14-year-old boy to engage in sex acts.
And then you say, or we could go trade some head. Would that be a term for blowjob?
Yes, and I was just trying to see like how real of a person that was.
And then the kid responds with trade some head. How's that work? And you say, we suck each other off. Come on, dude, you want to meet or not? Was that something you said? Hey, is that something you said?
Yes.
So my question to you is, I'm not really buying the excuse that you're going to come here and meet and talk with this kid. You understand me?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that you're going to come here and do something sexual?
No, I completely understand, but no,
Answer my question.
yes,
Is it fair to say that you want to come here and do something sexual?
yes, it's fair to say that. Just
Now look, folks, if I can dig up these documents and interviews, so can Sheriff Smith. He's the top cop in Augusta County. Despite the disgusting admission by Chujoy in the interview you just heard, Sheriff Smith remains his loyal friend to this day. How can the sheriff of a locality be friends with someone that has admitted to law enforcement to intending to commit sex acts with a 14-year-old boy? And as you know from our past reports, the sheriff is such good friends with Chujoy, he also remained his loyal friend while Felix Chujoy was embroiled in a human trafficking case that ultimately led to him being convicted of 2 misdemeanors and 3 felonies. This whole case is something out of a horror story. Earlier in the report, I mentioned out of the 40 child sex solicitation cases in Stanton Circuit Court since 2010 to 2019, 39 of those cases ended in a conviction. But Felix Chujoy's did not. So we have the interview with police where Chujoy admits to intending to engage in sex acts with a 14-year-old boy. We have the Craigslist chat logs that clearly show the handle prosecutors allege is Chujoy telling a 14-year-old boy they can jerk off together and trade head. And we have the words of Stanton Circuit Court Judge Franklin Humes where he says, quote, "While I'm absolutely certain everybody in the courtroom knew exactly what Mr. Chujoy's intentions were," end quote. We have all of this evidence, but somehow Felix Chujoy's case was dismissed. Meanwhile, the only evidence that the Commonwealth had against Amthal Mohammed Najib Mashadi was the following. Prosecutors alleged that on or about July 1st of 2014, Mashadi was using the nickname Andy Syria and began a chat log with the same officer that nabbed Chujoy, except for this time Corporal Campbell was posing as a 14-year-old girl. Syria said inappropriate things to what he thought was a 14-year-old girl. Told her she was sexy, sent his picture, asked her did she want a drink, but not once did he say the things Chujoy said or proposition the girl for sex. Mashadi was convicted and sentenced to 5 years and had to register as a sex offender. Now, I don't condone Mashadi's actions, and they are reprehensible, but the point is they convicted him with much less evidence than what they had on Chujoy. And in a large number of the 39 cases that ended in guilty verdicts, the prosecution's evidence was much less in strength than the evidence they had against Chujoy, yet Chujoy walked and these other criminals were sentenced to prison and or probation and had to register as sex offenders. Before I go, there is one more excerpt from Donald Smith's testimony during the trial. On page 233, line 21, Assistant U.S. Attorney Heather Carlton is attempting to impeach Donald Smith's credibility. She says, and I quote, "He's been an uncooperative witness with the government. He's openly hostile right now. Part of the impeachment, Your Honor, I'm asking him questions and he's going off about other stuff." End quote. This is the United States Assistant Attorney calling Donald Smith uncooperative and openly hostile in an open courtroom. That's the complete opposite of Smith's August 22nd, 2019 Facebook post on the sheriff's official Facebook page, where he claims to have been cooperative with investigators. According to this document and several others, he was not fully cooperative. And as U.S. Assistant Attorney Carlton said, he's openly hostile with the attorney representing the United States government in charge of prosecuting Chujoy. You all now have the facts. I will continue to investigate this matter wherever it takes me.
Smith is merely deflecting responsibility of his own actions and reducing himself to open slander. This behavior will not be tolerated by me, nor should it be tolerated by the people of Augusta County.
In Verona, Theodore Whitelow, Breaking Through News.